Welcome to Present Poetry, a podcast where we sit back, relax, and enjoy some poets of the past and present. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and before we get started on this week's episode, I want to remind you that all of the material used in this podcast is either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear this week's featured poet. This week's featured poet is LindaAnn LoSchiavo. LindaAnn LoSchiavo is a native New Yorker and an award-winning member of the British Fantasy Society, HWA, SFPA, and the Dramatists Guild. She released 3 titles in 2024, Always Haunted, Hallowe'en Poems from Wild Ink, Apprenticed to the Night from Universe Press, and Felones de Se, Poems about Suicide from Ukiyoto. In 2025, she released Cancer Courts My Mother from Prolific Pulse Press and Vampire Verses from Twisted Dreams Press. Her book accolades include the Elgin Award, the Chrysalis BREW Project Awards, the World's Best Magazine's Book of Excellence Award, and Spotlyts Story Award. Her craft essays on poetry have appeared in Writer's Digest, Authors Published Magazine, Behind the Pages, Roi Faineant, and elsewhere. We are reading a few of her poems that she submitted to us through the form at presentpoetry.com. This poem is called Arrival. Before my father stops hugging me, before he dries his frosted eyes, before he commandeers my suitcase, I know our agendas are beating different drums, his expectations clouded with denial. Before I arrange her medications, consign the complex sequences of patches, dosages, and Roxanol refills to a spreadsheet. Before I gently peek inside the master bedroom, I know he's made himself at home, the dark prince whose wanton seduction has already begun. The sly suitor who will reach the terminus first, conveying her silently into his sunless realm. Before I set about nursing neglected houseplants, manicuring brown-tipped leaves, recovery in my heart, I sensed the shush of air-cooled breeze in empty alcoves, Tampa's hopeful blue expanse about to ashen, date palms about to shiver in streetlight, the dusk's fatal crawl towards night. This poem is called Green Nursemaid. Her plants daydream resuscitation, green ribs nudging each other as I approach, a tarnished brass mister in tow, my face no longer a map of sleeplessness and pique, gambling with fate. Plucking away dead leaves, I debride each dusty surface like a wound, pinch back unruly shoots, inject vitamins, suturing new healthiness into the exhausted potting mixture, as deft fingers fly in and out of ceramic pots, a comforting busyness. If I could always have beauty on hand, would my mother love me? There comes a chill. From a dark corner, something stirred, glinting faintly in the exodus of grow lights, boastful, staring, puffed with power, the entity I could not extinguish with insect spray, the cancerous worm inside my stricken mother. I whisper the word revive to my filigreed companions, the exquisite eyelash begonias, and their less showy, leggy neighbors. Revive, I repeat, over and over like a spell. Indoor sun. Last year her voice filled this lanai. This poem is called Flash. To hear my mother tell it, after childbirth, her spine rebelled, becoming a cold and rumbling fault line. A difficult breech delivery ruined everything. To hear my mother tell it, a respectful infant should politely slide from the womb, not unlike a love letter shrugging off its scented pink envelope. But a willful neonate deliberately positions herself awkwardly in the birth canal, taut as a bowstring emerging from its warrior cave of shadows, on guard. To hear my mother tell it, from that point, good health slipped free of her, becoming a fancy hat she never could afford again. Her prenuptial decades were later mythologized into a golden era of uncomplicated serenity. Her lies bore only a passing likeness to reality. Around me, the purifying flames of authenticity were stifled, denuding the landscape of affectionate memories, scorching everything but blame, illusions. Cherishing slipped away like days we couldn't hold on to. Truth's mouth sewn shut. We never mastered the mechanics of mother-daughter camaraderie. My devotion clicked its heels in steady, meaningless rhythm, invisible, buried under her volcanic scorn, until one day nursing was necessary. Cancer helped adorn my mother with patience, her acidic breath pausing to accept the spoon that brought breakfast, her daylight swallowing fast. Apologies emerged, released like doves. Between us, a tight-chested pause exhaled. Perhaps she had grasped we only loved so long. This poem is called Remembering Remission Christmas. They'd bickered over her like two suitors. Vitality, her birthright, who had known my mother well before her married life, and Cancer, who'd mapped out his own terrain, unraveled secret strands of resistance, until oncologists chased him away. Remission Christmas reunited us, our joy like steam escaping after frost. I shipped my gifts to Florida ahead, biscotti, magnolia cookies, Torone from Little Italy, fine leather goods, and for her green thumb, a red amaryllis. But safety harbors Gulf of Mexico, producing Christmas time's Cancerian heat in December, had confused this bulb. Amidst the presents and nativity, its empty cradle strewn with straw, green life ripped up gay mummy wrappings and tore loose, unhampered by its ground like Lazarus, unbound. My parents, unprepared for ghosts of miracles, became unnerved by sounds, newborn, right by their creche, the fir tree's base, invisible and inexplicable, like faith, or like remission. After Mass, they found a determined amaryllis, force which sleeps but cannot die, that mother took to heart. This poem is called Jaundice. Never a gambler, my mother had somehow drawn lots and wound up with him, Cancer, who felt favored by fate. A woman with dimpled opal arms, her sarcasm crackling with static, generous thighs pale as dumplings, that he could wither away. Urothelial carcinoma was quick to show the scornful twinkle of his dominance. He sneaked in, like a two-faced suitor of some standing, and took her relentlessly, a quiet violation. One morning, when the crown of thorns revealed a bit of chaste pinking, I waltzed it into the bedroom to provoke her smiles. Her skin had turned sallow, jaundiced. A shadow hushed the room to silence, chilling in its cat-licking-the-cream triumph. During their last rendezvous, his sinister seeds had penetrated her liver. Overnight, he claimed his prize. No longer would she speak, a mere vassal now in the palace of death. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Present Poetry Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to like us, leave a review, or share us on social media. If you are a poet or you know someone who is, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us or submit your work through our website, which is www.present-poetry.com. www.present-poetry.com. Again, that is www.present-poetry.com. We can't wait to hear from you.